In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Welcome to a show called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
Ooh, and I can see you.
Yeah, we can see each other for the first time
Finally,
in a while.
This audio medium has kind of evolved. We've gone beyond the second dimension.
Through the magic of a video call.
Is it the last 3 or 4 episodes we've used something just audio, so we've not been able to see each other's facial reactions?
Yeah. And I think the comedy, struggled as a result.
It suffered as a result, certainly.
Wasn't the same.
I feel like
I need to see you guys.
I feel the quintessential, the quintessential kind of a show called Hate experience for me is being trapped in a broom closet with the three of you, and like the air getting progressively thicker.
Yes.
Over the course
I feel
of
like
an
we
hour.
were always going to reach this point, frankly.
Yeah, whether quarantine or not, we were eventually not going to be able to put up with the stench we generated through making this podcast.
We were always going to have to record in separate buildings in the end.
There's an issue with like what we're putting out into the world, not just from the perspective of like audio and comedy, but also like pollution. And so the sooner we nip that in the bud and just record in our separate spacious homes, the better, really.
I always think about my carbon footprint when I cycle over to your house, John, frankly, so...
But we don't think about our ass footprint when we're recording a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like I'm just so glad I spent all that time doing up a personal podcast studio, because from like an editing perspective, every podcast we've done remotely has actually sounded so much. Well, no, I'll take that back. Some of the we've done a trilogy so far of remote a show called Hates. And they've had a certain rustic charm to them.
But that's true of everything that's being broadcast at the moment, to be fair.
It's great. Yeah, it's like it's a certain like verisimilitude. Like people know these are difficult times. I mean, and Rev, like it's often sounded like you've been shouting down a drain pipe, like when we've been recording.
Well, that's what I do just day to day, frankly. So I thought I would bring that aesthetic to the podcast.
It's like you screamed into a half-filled tin of baked beans and then just threw it at us, and we had to like get the recording out of that.
Yeah, that's what I do at football matches.
That's why you're banned.
Yeah.
You've been kind of recreating the magic of your football matches, have you not? With your mates, your lads.
Well, we have a weekly Zoom call, and we all take it in turns to host a quiz, and it's football related and Gillingham related. It's been quite good fun. The problem is by about 11:30, everyone's absolutely steaming drunk and nobody cares about the quiz anymore.
I've been
kind of like football then.
a bit like an actual football match. Yeah.
Well, God knows you're not doing it because you enjoy the game.
No.
Oh God, no. The quality is. I cannot stress this highly enough. Absolutely woeful.
How are you? You mentioned in was it the last episode where you mentioned your absolutely terrifying rage when you don't win? Something.
That was the last episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that has diluted over the years, I think. As I said last week, I think I'm much better than when I lived with you, John.
Right. Yeah, I've still got the bruises, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Still.
The mental scars.
So things I like. I mean, physical scars can heal, but like the mental ones are with you for life.
Yeah,
that's true.
Have you filled the void though? Like, how are you? You're quizzing a lot.
I'm quizzing a lot. I'm hosting a lot of quizzes. I'm doing a lot of quizzes. I've got at least 2 I do every week now. And I'm doing another one on Facebook this week as well.
Ah, yes.
So yeah, I'm quite enjoying doing it, actually. It's quite good fun putting them all together.
Yeah. You somehow... Maybe you did mention, and I just didn't notice or care, but you did mention when I stopped by the other day, so we could chat and like shake hands and just kind of
just be with each other,
just
be close to one another,
lick each other's palms for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I when I came to chuck your new microphone through the window, you mentioned how
Thank you to Big Punch Studios for my new microphone, by the way.
Oh, it's fine. You know, it's better than the old drain pipe you were using before.
Well, I wasn't fucking paying for one.
What, a drain pipe? No, that was obviously quality.
But no, I was going to say, yeah, but you mentioned you casually mentioned that you've been furloughed for like the last 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Somehow that never came up.
I feel like I did tell people, but I didn't go around broadcasting it.
No,
I am now, ironically, broadcasting it.
You kind of did, because I remember I found out because I was leaning out my top floor window as you went walking Daisy past my house.
Because I walk past your house pretty much every day, Nick.
Yeah,
I see
the back of
your house.
I see the back of you sometimes, and I'm like, I just missed him. But
yeah, that's the best view of me.
We had a conversation where I was leaning out of a top floor window. You were in a street.
I was saying, don't do it. You've got so much to live for.
And everyone could hear what we had to say because we had to basically yell it.
Yeah, I'm furloughed now anyway. So how are you doing? All right?
Yeah, got up at fucking 12 today.
Yeah. Wee, lads.
Crack a noon.
Do you feel like it does seem to me that like we've turned a corner this week? I don't want to say like as a nation, but I mean just in general. Like I feel people have been getting used to it, but people have been kind of like suffering through it. And something seems to have flipped this week, and I don't know if it's like the good weather, and I hope people don't go crazy or drunk with power, but it's kind of like this is like the new normal now.
Yeah.
And people are finding ways to make it work.
This is regular now. Yeah.
I wonder if there is some scientific principle of how long you have to expose a group of people to something before it becomes normal. And I wonder if it's like a month, like 4 weeks. And it's just like, it's like, oh, you're living waist deep in a ball pool. Your whole house is balls. But after a month of that, it's normal.
Thing is, after a month of that, if they suddenly then remove the balls, that's the problem. Because suddenly you're like running through the house when you don't want to be.
My legs would have withered away because I'd have been relying on the support of the balls.
Or they would be hench, wouldn't they?
Oh, because I'd be wading.
After all the resistance of the balls.
Yes, indeed.
Well, speaking of, when I cycled around your respective houses the other day to like drop off some stuff, from a distance, from a safe distance.
Yes.
That was the first time I got my bike out in maybe like 4 or 5 weeks. And the first time, I mean, I'd be going for walks. You know, I jog up the stairs. Like I hold my breath occasionally just to, for a bit of a rush. You know.
Yeah, just for the excitement of it all.
But that was like the most physical exertion I've done in about 5 weeks. And
I liked that visit when you came to the house and you were on your bike, and because we have a porch with a sliding glass door. So we opened the front door, but you were on the outside side of the porch's glass door. So there was this like little airlock room between us, and you were like cupping your hands against the glass, kind of like a crazy person. And you were just like, hey Nick, how's it going? And I'm stood in the front door with the door open, but like still with a glass and a porch between us, and just be like, yeah, it's good.
The sun was in an odd angle, so yeah, I just couldn't see you through the glare of the glass, so I had to kind of like press right up against it.
It made you look more mental, which was good. And I also, it kind of put me in the mind that you were like some sort of estranged, blinded astronaut outside my spaceship house.
That's a good way of looking at things.
Yeah, and that's basically how I see you now, is this blind astronaut.
Well, we've all been to the cinema. We all know that scene.
I don't remember that.
That's me basically going like, "Hey Nick, no, I'm over it now. No, it's fine. Let me in. It's cool." You know, like I thought, things looked a bit bleak for a minute, but
no, I'm cured. I'm fine.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not opening the door, John. I'm not opening the door.
Just open the door, Nick. It's fine.
No, I'm not opening the door. No.
Or just open the door and then walk around the house with your mouth open for a bit. You know, it's fine. Don't worry.
Your eyes are so bloodshot, John. I'm not.
What was that? Nothing. That was a small.
What
laugh.
an amazing practical joke that would be. Oh, lockdown's over. You can open the door, and then they open the door. Ah, got ya.
And then you spit on their doorstep and then run.
And then you like cough all over them, and then run away. But not very fast because you're ill.
I had a very nice conversation with my neighbour the other day. You know, we were both a sorg's length away from each other over a bar.
Oh, is that how you measure it?
Is this?
The one I get on with. Let's just say.
Okay.
Let's just say that.
Okay, I know who you mean.
Yeah, And we had a lovely conversation, like, from about, like, the length of 2 Vauxhalls away.
Yeah.
We
Sure.
talked about
That's how you measure
gardening,
it.
talked about the weather. It was delightful. It's lovely. Just that social contact. It's lovely.
We
But once
see
all
quite a
this
lot
is
of our
over,
neighbours now.
You'll never talk to them
It's
again.
quite nice. Just chatting over the wall or whatever. Have a chat. We're all in it together.
I don't talk to mine.
Fair enough.
I mean, the neighbours on the other side, they don't think massively highly of us because of our unconventional lifestyle and all the noise we made when we were renovating the house. And
Monsters. How dare you?
but as a consequence of the self-isolation, their teenage son is now, who used to play a lot of video games directly through the wall into our bedroom, he's pretty much gaming 24/7 at the moment.
Oh.
Great.
Yeah, we hear it all. We hear everything.
All his victories and all his loses.
I still have yet to work out what he's playing. It's my life's mission to work out what game
It's
he
a
plays.
shooter, though, right? You know it's a shooter.
Only because I
think-
imagine it's very hard to get that angry about, like, Football Manager.
Oh, I'm
You'd
sure
be
Chris
surprised.
Ray's.
You
Yeah.
would be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
When it's just numbers on a screen.
There's
God
holes
damn
in
it.
walls around the country that say differently.
Yeah, the aforementioned white hot rage of not winning. So, how have you all been entertaining yourselves?
Streaming services are coming into their own, frankly.
Yep.
I've been watching a lot of The Vicar of Dibley, if I'm honest with you, John.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
It's top notch.
I feel it's very. Thinking back,
Oh.
I imagine it's very gentle.
Yeah.
It's some gentle
It's
humour.
there's. I mean, the other end of the spectrum. I watched the second series of Afterlife today, the Ricky Gervais show,
yeah.
which was very good. It's very dark, but yeah, still good. I enjoyed that.
Did you watch the whole second season today?
I certainly did. Yes,
That's in one day.
that's in one day.
Oh, okay.
It was about, how long did it take? 2.5 hours to watch the series. So it's the length of a long film.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah, it was very good though. I'd recommend it if you enjoyed the first series.
Nicholas, what have you been doing?
I've managed to get quite a lot of drawing done, which is cool. It's weird because on the one hand, it doesn't really feel like I've got much more spare time. I think that's something that a lot of people have kind of maybe got confused, unless you're furloughed, of course. Like this idea of, oh, we're all locked in our houses, so we've got shitloads of time to do stuff. It's like, but we don't really, do we? Like, we still work, we just work from home. And then we have the same amount of time in the evenings from home, maybe a little more because we didn't have to travel or whatever. And then we've got the weekends, granted, still at home. I know we're not socializing as much, but it's like, I wasn't expecting it to make such a huge difference on the amount of drawing I got to do. But I'm churning some shit out at the moment. Like, I'm like a machine. It's not good, but I mean, it's all there. It's all there.
It's all very low quality.
Or you can draw our kind of rooms. It's like
Yeah.
all your inspiration is just boiled down to what's in front of you.
Yeah. It's just rooms with me in it, crying.
I mean, it looks great. You know.
Oh man, I'm gonna do an amazing exhibition after I'm done with this. It's just like, yeah, me in isolation.
Nothing room.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's been pretty good for me.
Yeah. I gardening. Like just
That's your jam.
Yeah, although my definition of gardening at the moment is basically just destroying stuff. That's
Sure.
that's just kind of like where our garden is really. Like that was my morning.
Yeah.
It was delightful. Like this morning, went out with my mattock, which is probably my favorite thing in the world. It's like
Is that an axe?
it's basically Stormbreaker from
Nice.
Great.
Endgame and stuff. It's just basically like the vicious love child of an axe and a hammer at the same time. It is delightful, and I'm slowly but surely dismantling the
Everything.
hedge in the front garden. Anything in sight.
Anything that's alive must
Lucy,
go.
stay
anything that looks at me
inside.
wrong.
Good
And yeah,
God.
And as we were saying just before we came on air, my big exciting development today is that I've been brewing some beer at home.
Yes.
Yes.
You did that once long ago, didn't you, Rev? Back in our old shared house.
We put far too much sugar in it, so it was unbearably strong.
Oh.
It was like, it must have been at least 9%, this beer.
I did have some, and
It was
and
You're
It
still
didn't
drunk
send
now.
anyone blind, as far as I know.
That's why I wear glasses now.
Yeah.
It was, to your credit, it was 100% beer. Like, it was definitely, definitely beer.
You could certainly tell it was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was just
Brookbank Fountain, it was called.
Yeah.
It popped up on my memories actually the other day, like 8 years ago today.
And God knows you
whatever it
need that
was.
on Facebook because most of your memories of that period have been erased.
Oh yeah.
It's just you going, oh, a home brewing kit, and then you walking out of the intensive care going,
Scene missing.
It's just scene missing, and then me walking out of intensive care.
Well, I've thought about brewing beer before, but really the only reason I want to do it is because I want to design labels for my eventual beer brand. I don't think that's the right reason.
That would look cool because cans are like design projects on their own now.
Yeah,
Some of
right,
them.
exactly.
oh yeah,
So
like,
maybe I could design your labels, John.
I've got one here called Base Camp Pills Lager, which I'm just holding up to the camera for you. And
that's
Ooh,
very
yeah,
got
that's
like
nice.
a nice scene on it.
I like that.
Well, I guess I'm on at the moment. Chris Ray turned me on to.
Chris Ray turned you on.
Well, just in general, but Chris Ray turned me on to the wonders of door-to-door beer deliveries, which...
you're on it now as well.
Oh, Nick, there's no...
I found so many good deals the last week or so,
which
is where I got this Base Camp. That's one of my latest deliveries. I found 2 more today that are very good.
There's no going back. I mean, Rev, you pointed out, and a shout-out to our good friends at the Edinburgh Beer Company. Because they...
that's a good label as well.
They do this...
That's a nice label on that.
It's kind of like it's called Paolozzi.
Palozzi.
It sounds Italian.
Palozzi.
It's just
Palazzi beer.
It's just a kick-ass, quite a strong little lager. It's really nice and it's award-winning apparently. But what's the best thing about it is it's not the awards it's won. It's the fact it comes in crates of 24, and and if you place an order, it's with you in like 2 days. The same guy delivered it from like a week ago. And I was like,
I bet he was like, "Oh, out already, are you?"
it was like 2 weeks ago. I hadn't quite burned through it. But
Well, I recommended that to you, but I haven't actually had it myself. That one, so
I will come and chuck a bottle through your window so you can
that's
give it a
what
try.
I'll respond in kind.
Well, Nick, maybe when this is over, because the beer I brewed this afternoon is going to take like 3 weeks. I haven't even finished. I was working on it. So when it's done, this is the thing. You got to bottle it. Like you have to bottle it, and then we can make some labels and stuff. But like
that'd be sweet.
And then we can all drink it to celebrate when this is all over.
Drink it on the podcast. We could do a podcast special where we review your beer.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. But the thing I do take issue is I feel like on positive, I've learned a lot about the beer making process because I've been to a lot of breweries in my life, but I don't actually remember pretty much anything.
Funny that.
Yeah, it's weird. Like pretty much nothing I learned.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, and
well, we went to a distillery for your
my
stag do, didn't
yeah,
we?
we did,
whiskey, and we had that 90% proof liquid like fire.
Yeah, they were
like just like you added like a drop of it on. It was like, yeah, I'm pissed now.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
my
that was
shoes
great because
desold themselves after I drank that.
Well, that was amazing because the guy who let us test it, he was like, now the beauty is you can drink as much as this as you want because chemically and legally it's not counted as alcohol anymore. This is not technically a drink.
It's a plasma. It's one of the 4 primordial elements of the universe. Yeah.
We describe this for tax purposes as an agricultural effluent. If you choose to imbibe it, that's your business. But no, so I've forgotten everything about the beer making process. So this afternoon I was like, okay, I've been to the shops, I've had a bunch of old people walk up to me because they clearly just do not value their own safety.
Just love to do it.
I've taken out a hedge, I know, I'll make this beer because this is like a Christmas present, which I just hadn't got around to doing anything with. And the box, this is the misleading thing I take issue with. The box has like super simple instructions on the side and it goes, if you can make oats, you can make beer. If you can boil water, you can make beer. It's so simple. Like, just go to the website to get like the full details. Everything you need is in the box. And I'm like, okay, so you got to open the web page and get the instructions, and then at every stage, it adds something else. So it's not impossible, but it's nowhere near as simple as it says. And then it goes like, you don't need anything apart from a brain and some hot water, but you do also need a grapefruit.
Oh, it's great because the beer you're making is grapefruit infused. I know that much.
Well, there we go. So I have not put any grapefruit in because I'd already started the process before I got to the bit that's like, you will need honey and grapefruit. I'm like, well, great.
I don't have that.
What have I got? I've got like a Sunday Times supplement with a photo of a lime on the cover. I might
chuck it in.
Dunk that and see what happens. But yeah, so it's and then it also took a really long time. So I've basically spent like the last 3 hours and it's like you can't walk away. It's like, you know, you've got to
it's a very delicate operation.
Yeah, you've got to boil it for like an hour, but you've got to look at it every 10 minutes, you know, and the temperature can't go above or below whatever.
4.
You know,
210.
Gained a whole new respect for beer makers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what, one more thing. We also set up today, because clearly we've hit peak quarantine, dry cured eggs.
Oh. You have the util eggs.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say meat.
No,
I thought you were going to say meat.
I think meat would be the next thing to try, but basically, there's a YouTube series from the magazine Bon Appetit, like a food magazine. There's an amazing YouTube series called It's Alive, featuring possibly the greatest man who's ever lived, Brad Leone, a big hunk of New Jersey meathead who happens to be a really good cook. He's also like he's amazing. He's just a lunk. I don't describe many people as a lunk, but he's just like the biggest lunk you could imagine. And he does a whole show all about like fermenting. You know, so he makes beer. He's made ginger beer. You know, he's pickled this. He's fermented that, and he did cured egg yolks. So basically, you take
insane.
Salt, sugar, pepper, whatever you want to throw in. Go crazy. Make like a big mix. Blend it.
Grapefruit.
We should do. Yeah, that's what you used all my grapefruit.
I used all my grapefruit on the egg.
Shit.
Then you blend it up and everything, and then you make like a little. You fill a pot with it. You make like a little nest of salt. And you take your egg and you kind of like, you place it in the salt and you make like a little divot, like an egg-shaped divot.
Right.
Then you crack the egg elsewhere and you separate out the yolk and the white. So I mean, you've just got the yolk and then you just let it like slide off your hand and it pops into that little divot.
Right.
And then so we've done 3 of those little divots and then you bury them in the salt and the sugar.
Right.
And the idea is that you got to leave it for like 4 days. So it's just in our cupboard at the moment. Okay. And then when it's done, you dig them out and they've gone kind of hard.
They're fossils.
Kind of, yeah. Like all the moisture's come out of them. You can you can dry them out a bit more in the oven, which we'll do. You just kind of like have it on a really low temperature. And then you get like these little golden hockey pucks, which you can grate. So you put them on things. So yeah, so like it's like a real savory, like umami kind of
my God.
Kick.
It's like an egg raisin.
Yeah.
You just dehydrated an egg.
It's a massive egg raisin.
I didn't know that was a thing.
You massive egg raisin.
I'm not convinced, if I'm honest. I look forward to seeing the result, though.
I'll hold it up on camera. But yeah, just imagine like a little golden disc of flavour. And then that'll be the next thing to report. Did that work?
The answer was no.
The answer is no. The answer is yet another burden on the NHS.
Yeah.
Stay home. Stay safe. Don't eat weird salty egg.
Don't eat fermented egg.
No, I'm sure it'll be delicious. I'm sure.
Not that I'm not enjoying this, but I finished my beer.
Oh God!
I've made the preparation of stocking up.
I was worried about
3 here with me.
Well, my thinking is they would get warm. You know what? Let's just keep it running. This is live. I'm going to go get my second beer. Do enjoy yourself.
Second beer.
We'll just talk amongst ourselves then, I guess.
The thing is, John's the glue that holds this all together.
Oh no!
So I don't know what structure's going to happen now.
John's so good at like asking those leading questions. He's like, "Hey, Chris.
Hey, what have you been doing?
How are you feeling? What?
I should just get him to ask some closed questions, and I'll just go yes. I'll just do that, and then he can struggle through the line of questioning.
We could record the questions afterwards, and we could just do the answers now.
Yeah.
So I'll answer one.
I'll do. It's like the canned laughter they do before you are a live audience in the radio.
Yeah.
If everyone could just pretend to laugh, we'll just add that in later.
Yeah.
It's just
So
like,
I'll
okay.
answer a question for him now. I'll just be like, yeah, actually, yeah, I fell off a ladder and twisted my dick off. Oh, he's back.
Oh no, we got to stop messing around. He's back. We got to stop messing now.
It's a serious podcast for serious. Let's get back in the zone.
His paloozy. Another paloozy.
Hey, Jong's back.
Oh, we weren't messing around.
You won't even notice that you weren't there.
Don't listen to that in the edit, John.
Oh, I don't.
Just skip over that bit.
Oh, I don't listen to this show.
I don't either.
No, I have taste, for God's sake.
If I listen back to the show, I'd just be like, oh, why'd I say that? There's so many other things I could have said there. Fuck.
I
Anyway,
listen
should we do
back
the
and I
show?
sort of think about. I sort of think what like I'm in a conversation at that moment,
And speak out loud by
I think to
accident.
myself what I would answer, and then I say it on the podcast, and I'm like, that's weird, isn't it? I mean, but it's not really because I'm the same person I was on the podcast.
So you're quite consistent with your past self then?
Yeah, it seems so.
The thing you may not have realised, Rev, is that you've actually just hit what kind of like Zen practitioners would spend their entire lifetime trying to achieve.
Yeah.
You are so perfectly in the moment that your past self is absolutely identical
Yeah.
to your current self.
You've achieved
There's something slightly comforting about that.
I do remember once you said occasionally, Rev, you do say things which are quite profound. I remember.
Thank you.
I
Very
think we were once on the subject of like self-improvement and people trying to like change over time and kind of like try to improve themselves. And I remember you just going like, "What a load of crap!" He said, "You're always the same miserable bastard you always were." It's like, and I was like, "That's kind of." Yeah, I guess
that is true though.
Yeah,
but there's no point. There's no point in trying to improve yourself because if you're trying, then you're doing something you wouldn't naturally do. So just fuck it off and just carry on. There you go.
God, out of the mouth of babes. Honestly,
Yeah.
Okay, well look. Tell you what, format is king, as we've often said. Who has a hate and who would like to get us running?
I'll do one if you want.
Oh,
Do one. Why don't you just do one, Chris?
Well, the problem with this whole lockdown is that I sort of haven't got anything outside of the perimeters of my property to be pissed off about.
I know.
So with that in mind, curries.
Curries?
Not the delicious Indian meal.
Okay.
The brand curries.
What have they done?
There goes another sponsorship.
Yeah, well, I don't want. I would rather not be sponsored by them than have a lucrative sponsorship deal with them because they are absolutely useless.
Big words.
So we ordered a fridge 6 weeks ago or something like that because our fridge was leaking. So we thought, oh, I'm not going to fix that. Let's get a new one because that's what recyclers do.
Yep.
I like that. It wasn't that I can't fix that.
Oh, I probably could have.
I'm just not.
I think
going
if I put my mind to it properly, then potentially I could have fixed it. But this one's got a water dispenser, so.
And really spent some time learning. I think I probably would still not be able to do it.
I just thought it's going to take. My time is valuable, and it's going to take more of my time than this new fridge is worth. So I'll just get the new one.
Okay.
Can I just say, with the rise of YouTube and the rise of the internet and DIY, it does make it harder to come up with excuses for why you can't fix things. Because like every time you want to, like do something, you go, "Oh, I'll just Google it. Like I'll just find a video of it." The only thing that gave me pause was after Christmas, I rewired a light, which is something I'd never done before. And I'm like, okay, we're playing with fire, we're playing with electricity.
That's big boy stuff. That
I'm like, okay, I really don't want to fuck this up because I cannot remember which is the live cable, which one is the earth, which one's the
doesn't really matter.
neutral.
I think they're all actually the same.
So I had this light socket, this what do we call it, like a bracket on the ceiling off. All these kind
tell me, John, you're the one who did it.
Yeah,
I've forgotten already. But all these kind of like naked cables coming down, and I was expecting 3, and there was like 6 of them. And I was like, oh my god, this isn't good. And there's like a mauve one. One's got polka dots on it. I'm like, what's all this? And
One's got water pouring out of it.
And I'm like, and I thought, okay, you know what? I've got no excuse. I'll look up a video of. I'll learn through doing. And I found this YouTube video, and it was like shot like clearly someone was holding a camera, and they had like a spare hand. And this lady goes, "Hey, Hey everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to rewire a light. Oh, hang on a minute. Awkward cut. Back on again. Okay, so when you take the bracket off, you should see these cables. Now it's important to remember that the brown one is the. No, wait a minute. No. And I was like looking at my phone, and I had the thing here, and I was like, oh god, like
Margaret, come on, Margaret.
I'm gonna die.
This is how I die.
It's good though that while you had sort of all these naked wires around, you were holding another electrical device. I think that's very sensible.
And you were stood in a bucket of water.
Oh yeah, I was really stressed. If I don't get my, if I don't like,
I was having a bath at the time
with a toaster.
Yeah.
I just love my grilled cheese.
I'm so sorry, Rev.
That's fine.
Yeah,
no,
take it away.
So we ordered a new fridge. It said it would be a few weeks. It was a couple of weeks longer than it said it was going to be.
Bastard!
That's fine. I can live with that.
I thought that was it.
You pay your taxes. Well,
I pay my taxes to the Curry's gods. So anyway, this guy turns up at Sunday morning with the new fridge. The new fridge is put in the house. That's fine, lovely. The old one we've moved outside into the front, so on the drive.
Next to the burning mattress.
Next to the burning mattress and the tyre fire.
The burned out car.
And he goes, all I'm doing is pickups today. Would it be all right if I come back tomorrow to collect that? And I was like, I don't want to be a dick about this because it's not really all right. But socially, I'll say, yes, that's fine.
Okay.
But he was a bit aloof at the time, in hindsight. Anyway, I've not heard from him since.
What?
And it's now, what is it, Thursday? So nearly 6 days later. The fridge is still on the driveway. And I've been tweeting and Facebooking and basically just badgering Curry's PC World for the best part of 4 days.
Nice.
And I've got precisely nowhere.
Is it?
It's an absolute shit show.
Is it entirely possible that the
Don't start defending him, John.
No, the man who did this to you was not actually affiliated with Curry's in any way.
Now that you mention it, John, I'm not sure it's actually a fridge.
Is there a man inside it?
There could be. It's really deep, the fridge. It's like super big.
Yeah,
I could barely reach the butter.
I know, and
you put it in there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and it's like right behind the cans of Diet Coke. It's like a whole kingdom with like a lion. It's just
that's when I got suspicious.
Christian allegory.
You reach really far back, and it's just like this strange metaphor for Jesus Christ himself, just hidden away in the corner of a fridge.
Hey, darling, would you mind get me a drink, will you? Oh, sure, yeah, not a problem. Oh, fuck off, Mr. Tumnus. Get out of the way.
Welcome to Narnia. Would you like this Peroni?
No, yes, I would like the Peroni, Mr.
Get out of my face.
Would you like some Turkish delight?
No.
What? Come inside to my tree house.
Fuck off.
Just let me drink my beer in peace.
My nipples, though. They're so cold.
If you could have a fridge with infinite capacity,
what for?
Would you?
Would you take it? But the only catch is
Tumnus.
There is a half-naked fawn in there all the time.
Yes.
And every time you open the fridge, you have to interact with that fawn.
He doesn't let you not interact. It's like he's
what
holding
could I get
all
out
your
of the
stuff.
fridge? What could I get out of the?
Anything you put in.
But are we talking stuff that would normally go in a fridge, or are we talking like mythical beings?
Well, I mean,
so could I have, for example, like a centaur steak?
Oh no, I don't think the fridge is like summoning fantastical objects for you. The fridge only stores your stuff, but an infinite amount of your stuff. But it also has Mr. Tumnus in it.
And also, to sweeten the pot, the fridge is rated B+ on the environmentally friendly energy consumption scale.
See, that does
good,
change things.
Not quite an A.
No, I mean, it's not quite an A because there's
I don't want anything
that's
an A because that's probably like lessened in terms of its performance because it's so environmentally friendly.
Here's the
thing. A B is fine because it probably still performs to like a D level.
Here's the thing. Mr. Tumnus probably does shit in there. Because
how big is he? Is he like human sized?
He's 4.5 foot tall. When his haunches are fully extended,
erect.
See, that's too much of an imposition. I feel like he would take the piss at that height.
Oh, he would.
Like, he would eat some of my infinite food, for example, and I'm still paying for it, presumably.
Be like, hey, Tumnus, where are the spring onions? You little shit. And he'd be like, oh, come and find them.
I don't really see the benefit of all this, if I'm honest.
Well, you have infinite storage.
Yeah,
what
but,
if? Yeah,
but I still have to pay for it.
What if, though?
With your social time.
Yeah, okay, what if, though, when you open the freezer, it looks like an infinite corridor kind of stretching
I'll tell you what would be good, is if you had a freezer that freezes your things, right?
Wait, what?
But when you take the stuff out, it like defrosts immediately.
Ah.
That would be good. That would change things. If you're offering me that, and
Okay.
What if we're offering you that?
Dear bloke in there.
What if we're offering you that, but Tumnus is there, and so you go into your freezer, you're like, hey, I'd like a pizza, please, and he has to hand it to you, and he probably says something like, ooh, that's got a lot of calories.
How
you sure you
long
want that,
do I
fatty?
have to interact with him for?
Well, here's the thing. When you open the fridge, the door, that's in the realm of man. That's in the realm of science. So anything you store in the door, that's your business. Anything inside this full body, full size, upright 2-story fridge freezer, it looks from your perspective like an infinite corridor, kind of stretching away, and the walls.
How would my arm get in there?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
All right, fine.
So the walls of this infinite corridor are lined with like fridge shelves.
Okay.
And there is food going all the way, right as far as the eye can see.
Okay.
Sure.
The catch is, you cannot breach the boundary of the fridge. Like, you do not... Like, if you go in, you're breaking a sacred pact.
I feel like I'm making far too many concessions for something a microwave can do.
Well, this
but you're not buying any of that food. It's all just
the
freely
deal has
available to you.
changed.
Oh, okay, so I don't have to buy the food now.
Yeah, now that food...
Oh, okay.
Now that food stocks itself,
Yep.
but you cannot enter the fridge. So if you want something, you have to interact with Mr. Tumnus.
Okay. What is the probability that either we'll get along well and become friends, or I'll just find him irritating and go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
I think you already know the answer to that.
Super hot.
But he is the keeper. But yeah, so and occasionally.
Bear in mind, he's only wearing a scarf as well.
Yeah, he's only wearing a scarf. Now he looks like he's wearing trousers, but that is actually body hair.
Yeah, his cock is there.
Does he have a human cock?
The hair is quite matted. It's quite hard to tell.
But it's like a human cock, but worse.
Okay.
It's got horns on it.
The free
If
food,
that's even possible.
the free food has changed my stance.
Okay.
On it.
I know, me too, massively.
Occasionally, though, Mr. Tumnus is free to roam the lengths of the infinite fridge corridor as he sees fit.
Okay.
So occasionally, you will open the door and he just won't be there.
Oh, okay.
So it's a complete Skinner box.
But is he likely to jump out at me, like to like fuck with me?
You'll see him coming though, because it's
Yeah,
one way in.
Will he just go surprise?
But like sometimes you might open the fridge freezer door and he might just be right there, like right on the threshold.
I
Like,
don't
hello.
like being made to jump.
No.
He might make you jump.
Certainly not when I'm opening the fridge.
But this is the terror of it, because sometimes, as Nick rightly said, he's right there. Like, sometimes he's waiting for you. Other times, because when you shut that door, time moves contiguous with the real world. So he's got
he has a sense of time and what time I'm likely to use the fridge. Okay.
Yeah, he has a sense of time, and he also has a sense of mortality, but that escapes him because he is a prisoner. He will live forever inside the infinite fridge. But
he's also got an
he
Apple
age?
Watch.
No.
Okay.
But
How
that's
old-
just
how old
that's
roughly
just natural
is it-
deforms.
How old roughly would he be? What sort of thing would he talk to me about?
Trillions of years old.
He's
surely.
desperate for company.
He's been in the freezer dimension since the birth of the universe.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, you've said free food now, so that's all I can think about.
I know, that is the thing. It's like,
But this
how are
is
you
my-
ever going to caveat that?
But this is my point. But here's the thing: he's desperate for company, and he's also so annoying. So anytime you open that door, you're running the risk of.
But then I could just say, "Oh, piss off! I'm hungry," and then just shut the fridge.
It's the thing. Like sometimes, and you don't get that food though,
Yeah, but then I'll just
Why don't I get the food?
because he has to hand it to you.
Yeah, but I could just like snatch it off him.
He might not even be holding it.
Yeah, you've got to. It's the thing. You've got to be quick That's the thing with Tumnus. Like sometimes
That's the thing with Tumnus.
that's the thing with Tumnus. Sometimes you'll open the fridge door and you'll look, and maybe like 500 yards away down the infinite corridor is Mr. Tumnus, and he looks like, oh, has he been crying? Oh, that's weird. And then he turns and looks at you, and he goes, my friend, and he starts kind of running towards
Galloping.
you, and you're like, oh, I just. Now, I just need some chorizo. Actually, no, I've got it. It's fine. And then you kind of slam the door on him just because he kind of like gets near.
The thing is, I would be polite for like a day, maybe.
Maybe less.
And then I'd just be like, oh, fuck this.
I'll get takeout.
Yeah. I'll just chew on a bit of bread and I'll just be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, you've said free food, and that is the bottom line. That is literally, right now, food is my only expense.
Yeah. So,
what if we open the freezer door and he's distant and he starts galloping in to say hello, and I just bowl a bowling ball down and just shut the door?
Could you slam the door like on his face, and would it hurt him?
He feels pain. He definitely.
Oh, he does.
Pain.
Yeah. And, oh God,
yeah.
You know he. Yeah. No. Well,
What's worse?
That's good, because that might.
What's worse is
that
he
might
can't
frighten
die.
him off. That might, if I hurt him physically or emotionally.
Damage
what?
him.
Once,
that might frighten him off.
Once I did open the door to my infinite fridge, and I actually was greeted by a frankly chilling sight of Mr. Tumnus lying in a pool of kind of salsa, and I think he had throttled himself to death with a comical chain of sausages.
Yeah.
And I did stare for a good few minutes before I grabbed the chorizo, and I was quite traumatized by it. But when I reopened the door, he was alive again, and he seemed to be aware of every death he'd experienced, and deeply
I think
upset.
The
by
most
it.
important thing from everything you just said, there was a whole thing there, and I think the only thing I really started thinking about was that the salsa would have probably frozen into like a disc, so you'd have like a salsa frisbee. Which
Well, he covered it all in salt and left it in a cupboard for 4 days, and it turned into like a salsa disc.
Yeah,
It's a dry cured salsa. Anyway, the bottom line is curries haven't turned up for my fridge, and it's bothering me.
yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's my hate. There you go.
It's a thing like you're gonna get, because you're waging quite a public war against curries about you. I've seen the photos you've posted.
That sounds bad.
Yeah, it does.
You're doing the my holiday was ruined photo.
I'm doing
you stand and just point.
I'm doing the Peter Kay bit where they just point at the thing that's wrong, so it's just me pointing at the fridge with a half stern, half laughing my ass off photo.
But I'm saying this is where it ends though, because curries are going to turn around in a few days, and they're going to say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Ray, we haven't."
I don't think
been delivering.
They are.
No, but they're going to say we haven't been delivering fridges for 2 months, and then you're going to turn and you're going to look at your fridge, and you're going to wonder what the hell is sitting there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll deal with that when it comes.
Yep. Cool. Great. Okay, moving on.
Have you been tempted to? Have you taken any actions to secure the fridge on your driveway? Because children can become trapped in fridges.
Well, if some
And turtles.
child turns up, opens my fridge door, which is a problem to start with, then is stupid enough to let it close, they probably deserve what's coming.
Yeah, and
Right.
Mr. Tumnus has to feed.
Yeah.
Once you've crossed
That's
that
my treat
threshold-
to him. That will stop him talking to me for the next 5 turns. If
Once
I
a human
sacrifice a
being-
child,
Once a human being crosses that threshold, it is technically Tumnus's property. Not
Yeah.
only property, but also nourishment.
yeah.
So this is the dark bargain you've. This is how you're making it work. You lure a child into your fridge every every solstice.
Every winter solstice, yeah.
But hey, that's the thing with Tumnus.
That's the thing
You know,
about Tumnus.
that's the thing with Tumnus.
Thing
It's
is,
just
if this
gotta
guy's a
feed.
mild inconvenience, then I will sacrifice a child so I can be less irritated for.
Wait
for
a
bit.
second. What's that? Is that my child's femur bone? Oh, that's the thing with Tumnus.
That's-
Well, I'm making some stock. Making some tonkatsu ramen over here. Jesus.
Yeah, chuck it in. Come on. Oh, give me here.
Give me a. I've got a hate.
Oh,
Go on
go on then.
I hate a sexy photoshopped cat.
Um,
What are we saying
mean-
is what are we defining as sexy?
What I'm saying.
Oh, do you find it sexy?
Oh yeah, constantly. But no,
Cool.
no, like I'm a full mask. But no, what I mean is,
Great.
when you buy pet food,
Oh.
okay, if you're buying, let's human analog. If you're buying shampoo, say,
I don't eat shampoo.
Okay,
That's not one of the items in my infinite fridge.
okay.
Tumnus?
When you're buying,
Bring me the shampoo.
when you're buying, let's say, a product designed to make you look or feel a certain way, the packaging will quite frequently have a picture of a human being who embodies those qualities. So if you were selling shampoo, here's somebody with beautiful kind of golden hair, falling perfectly. Yeah, and if you ever look really closely at those pictures,
they're not real people.
they're often like airbrushed to within an inch of their life. Like,
I bet they didn't even use the product.
I bet they're not even a real person. Yeah.
Yeah, the trouble is, none of them even fucking use the product, is it? Hey.
Case in point, Lucy dyes her hair different colours.
You paused at such a bad point in that sentence.
Lucy
dyes
her hair.
her hair. Yeah.
Lucy colours her hair, and when you buy the hair colouring product, it always has like the same woman. It's always the same woman.
Yeah,
but
the
her
same
hair
image as
is
well.
a different colour in every.
Which proves that they haven't actually dyed their hair at all.
Yeah, so it's been photoshopped. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you buy cat food,
They airbrush the cat.
yeah, this is my point.
They dye the cat's hair blue.
Yeah. I would buy that cat.
Okay.
And eat that cat food and get glossy hair.
Yeah.
As a side note, I heard that you could buy colouring for your pet. As in literally like, I'm not saying it's a
hair
good...
colouring?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good product, but I'm saying
No, it's not.
you could buy like a sheep dip for your dog to basically like dye...
I would have to bleach my dog first.
Yeah, well, you could do that. Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus,
Oh
what
my
happened?
god.
There's been an earthquake at the
Are you
residence.
okay?
Oh my God.
The residence.
Whoa.
I'm fine.
Whoa!
I'm in a tornado.
But no, so when you're selling cat food, you're like, hey, marketing team, we want to infer that this cat food will make your cat look svelte, like
Oh yeah.
like beautiful, like rich, silky fur.
What is the optimum condition of a cat?
This is my point. So you're like, okay, this is great. We need to find the supermodel of the cat world. We need to find the sexiest cat we can find to make.
But this is weird because we're not equipped as human beings. We're a different species. We're not equipped to, I don't think, to know what a sexy cat is. I don't know whether I would know what a sexy cat is. I mean, I might.
But
I haven't tried.
This is what gets me, because if you're selling cat food, I'm like, just take a photo of a cat. Like I don't really care about the specifics. You could probably just write cat food on it, and I'll believe
On a white
you.
box.
Yeah, you're
In
not
like Arial.
You're not advertising
Cat food.
You're not advertising to the cat. Like
No.
the cat is not buying it. So why are you trying to gussy up a cat to like make it like I want a
Here's
bit
the thing
of
though,
that,
John.
you
Here's the
know?
thing. I buy cat food on the basis of the pictures of what the food looks like sometimes. So I'm like, ooh, that looks like real food. That doesn't look like a paste or like ash or something.
Okay.
So I'm like, ooh, I'll get that. And that inevitably is the cat food dumpling does not like.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still the marketed
But then
towards
you can
me,
eat it.
the owner. But then I can eat it exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like I just warm it up a bit. It's like a casserole.
But this is the weird thing. It's like the things that make a human buy cat food for their pet. I don't know what those factors are. Like I just go like, I don't know. I get we just know the cat likes one brand, so just go and buy that one.
That tends to be it, really. Yeah. It's like, she ate this last time. Let's buy it again.
But
I think it's anything that didn't kill your cat the first time round is fine.
Yeah.
She didn't die. Let's do it again.
That's the threshold for success. Is the cat still alive? So then you look at like some of this cat food packaging, and I think there's one particular brand. I believe it's Whiskers in particular. Let's put them on blast.
Other brands are.
That's another sponsorship deal we fucking lost. Thanks.
So
John.
they've got
We're doing well tonight.
Jesus.
they've got this cat like reclining on the box, like it's just kind of rolling in the grass like a cat does.
Yeah.
And yet, this cat has been photoshopped within an inch of its life. Like, and the more I stare at this image of a cat, I'm like, hang on a minute, this is like the uncanny valley. Like, this is just getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And like, somebody took a photo of a cat and said, no, this will not do. Look at this Uggo. This real
How do cats get involved in modelling?
Yeah. How do you break in?
How does that happen? Do they get like headhunted?
I don't know. Clearly,
That cat's got the look I'm looking for. Bring that cat to me.
Are they just people going around like Crufts and the like, whatever the cat
Oh my god!
show?
Yeah, they're headhunting cats.
Yeah, and they're going like that. That is a sexy ass cat.
What a job! I've never spoken to anyone who I've gone, oh, so what do you do for a living? Oh, I headhunt cats.
You can
What
just
a job.
imagine, like,
What a job.
it's like at the latest Crufts outing, it's like we're looking for the next face of beef flakes. That cat looks like it could sell beef flakes to me with a handsome amount of photo retouch.
It could sell beef flakes to the beef.
Back to the cow.
It
It could sell these beef flakes back to the cow.
It could sell fire to the burning.
Yeah.
But no. But again, this is like the Pandora's box that I'm just trying to make sense of here, because it's like the more I stare at this cat and the more I think about it, and I'm re-engineering the decisions that went into putting that image of a cat on a box, because this cat is like, it's like a platonic ideal. It's like,
yeah, it's the idea of a cat rather than an
Yes.
actual cat.
and who decides what the optimum cat is? It's a bunch of people in a boardroom, a bunch of marketing people going like, yes, or they looked at this cat,
That's the
which
one
is
we
probably,
want.
as you say, best in show at Crafts, or whatever the cat version of Crufts is.
What is the cat version of Crufts?
I think they just go to Crufts. I think cats just go to Crufts, don't they?
Do they?
I don't know. I'm going
gonna
to
do
look
a
it up
quick-
while we're talking. Carry on. I'm going to look it up.
I'm gonna do it. Fuck off. I'm doing
Okay,
it.
I'll keep
No,
talking.
me first.
My point
Crufts.
is, somebody
No,
looked
it's a
at
dog show. Fuck! I was wrong.
somebody looked at that beautiful cat, probably let's call him Pebbles the cat, won the 2014 Best in Show, gave a lovely speech, really gussied it up in the swimsuit round, and they're like, yes, that is the young fresh face of a
beef
modern
flakes.
day working cat. Like, that's what we want on our brand. Then they took a photo of that cat and they said, no, it's not good enough.
No, fuck. No.
They need to screen test the cat.
It's the best cat on the planet, and it's still not good enough for us humans.
It will never, the head of the Whiskers Corporation is like,
Who is a
no,
cat, incidentally.
what is this? What is this? This is not the cat I dream of. This is, the thing that keeps me awake at night. So they go and Photoshop it to the point where its eyes almost look cartoonish because they are so perfect. Its fur it's like a Pixar movie. Like it's just so ridiculously coiffured. And I swear, if you look closely at, I'm looking at this cat, like I'm staring at this cat more than anyone has stared at an illustration of a cat in their life.
Well, it's a photo.
And thank you. Yeah, I'm staring at this photo of a cat, and I realise the longer I stare at it, I'm like, have they photoshopped a smile onto that cat? I'm like, hang on, is the corner of that cat's mouth tilted up? And I'm like, I'm losing my mind thinking about this cat. It's so weird. What are the decisions?
I've just Google image search Whiskers. Is it the grey cat against the purple background?
Yeah.
And it's leaning its chin on its paw.
Yeah.
I bet that
In a
wasn't
sort
even
of-
posed.
There
Yeah.
are other examples out there that I
I
feel.
am looking at this image now, and I'm getting lost in it just like you did. It's like an abyss of some sort.
What did you Google? Was it Whiskers packaging? Or
I literally just typed in Whiskers cat food and then image searched it, and it's just
there
a whole.
He is. I'm looking at him now.
Is that the one, John?
yeah, and
I mean, he is. That is a good-looking cat.
that
But
is
also the way that
objectively, I can appreciate that that's a good-looking cat.
Like, if you're listening along and you're at home now, go on to Google, search Whiskers cat food, WHISKAS, and then image search it, and you'll see a grey cat, which is kind of just the head and front paws of a cat, against a purpley pink background. And the way its head is rested on that paw, there's no way a real cat can actually do that.
Yeah.
They've made it into a logo. They've turned a photo into a logo.
that is not actually
It's monstrous.
That's not the most egregious one out there. Like that still, I feel like the head of that cat is real, but
Yeah,
like the
maybe.
arms around it are not. But there are. I swear there are worse ones going around the packaging. Like it just gets worse and worse. I feel like
because you two have you two both have cats that don't look like this cat. So surely that wouldn't have much of an impact on you as consumers.
well, no, this is my
Well,
point.
no.
Like
No, not at all.
I love my cat, but he's an asshole. Like he's a real prick, and I just want to, I want to feed the guy.
Just want to keep him alive.
But I'm not looking at going like, oh god, yeah, what's the sexiest cat I can find? Nothing less than that is good enough for my.
My process really is: does this type of cat food come in turkey flavour? Because Dumpling loves turkey. If it does, I'll buy that. The end.
I got like I had to venture out, onto the mean streets during plague season to get cat food for my for my ungrateful little shit beast, and
Aww.
I went to 2 different pet shops trying to find that one brand he loves so much, the one that really does it for him. And eventually I found the one shop that sold it. And they're selling like different variants on it. They're selling, well, you can get salmon. And I'm like, well, we don't get him salmon because it stinks to high heaven. He doesn't seem to like it. You can get chicken and rice. Or you can get
Rice?
And rice. Cats are notoriously big vegetarians, or it's like chicken and rice, or chicken and turkey. I'm like, what?
Oh,
Of course, I'm getting
Have
the
the-
chicken and turkey.
Double
Yeah,
meat.
That's
Double
2 meats
meat.
for the price of 1 meat.
And he's
You
going
absolute
crazy for it.
mentalist.
He loves it.
Yeah, of course he does. I'd go crazy for that.
Yeah.
Chicken and turkey on one evening meal. Fuck.
See, I don't have a cat, but I do have a dog,
Shit.
which is the opposite of a cat.
Yeah, the
And
mathematical
we have to
opposite.
we do a brand called Tails.com, so her food turns up once a month on the doorstep in just like a white bag.
Right.
But we have to get her special food because she's allergic to fucking everything. But they've been very good. I've not been influenced by cutesy images or anything. It's a weird concept now that I think about it. I've
Yeah.
never thought about it in any great depth before, and maybe I should have, and maybe that says more about me.
Well,
It's another
yeah.
weird quirk of like design and marketing, I think, like creative marketing, is this idea that they're trying to make a product more appealing, but they're making it more appealing to the people who aren't consuming it, and that's very strange.
yeah. I guess like an offshoot of this would be, I want to say like baby products.
Yeah.
Like weird photoshopped babies, which are very like photogenic to the point where they don't look real anymore. I'm kind of like, look,
I feel sorry for the babies on packaging for baby products.
Yeah.
Because that is the most famous they'll ever be.
Fact.
Your life has peaked at that moment. When
Unless they
you're,
commit a murder.
you're like a month old, you're like, fucking hell, it's all downhill from here.
At least you're getting royalty checks every week from Pampers.
Yeah. How much do you reckon they go for, royalty checks?
Fuck all.
Say I was a baby and I posed for mother care.
Well, no, listen, yeah, because when you're a baby, you know fuck all about bargaining and like getting
Yeah.
good deals.
Or
So you probably get
posing.
fucking ripped off when you're
So,
a baby.
if I'm
and then
now-
your royalties are shit all.
I'm now 30 in a couple of years. How much residual check money am I getting month on month?
Probably like 50p a year.
What's the point? I'd rather add that on.
but also like the baby market, the baby photo industry is even harsher than the high fashion supermodel one because you come in and they're like, oh, who's this new player? Oh, look at Junior there. Oh, he's got the stuff. And then 6 months later, they're like,
Day two.
you lost it, dude.
What
you
happened?
lost your edge.
You grew a single curl of hair.
You had so much potential. Now look at you.
Now look, you've got one tooth. It's disgusting.
Thing is, imagine turning up as a mother or a father, and they go, "Oh yeah, your baby's horrible looking. We can't possibly use this baby."
Yeah, imagine
There's a
putting
lot
your
of offence
baby
could be taken there.
putting your baby forward for the next face of Pampers, you know. So like, it's a big national competition. You put your baby forward. I've only got a small window in which my baby is the right age and the right cute factor to be on the front of Pampers. And the Pampers head honcho, it's like, no, fuck that baby. That's a bad baby. Take it away, please.
Get it out of my sight.
It's like, oh, great.
It'd be awful if, like, you know, you bring your baby in, they're like, whoa, you know, maybe cut down on the formula. All right. What are you, 6 pounds? Jesus.
Whoa, big boy.
I know that, like, when you there's like a movie or a TV show, and it requires a baby. I need a baby right now.
I need one of those young humans. What are they called?
When you look at the
baby?
credits,
Yes, exactly.
when you look at the credits, it's often played by twins.
Yeah,
Yes.
Or
very,
triplets.
very often. Yeah.
Because it's like,
There's some laws, aren't there, around how long they can work for.
yeah. So if you're the parent of like twins or triplets, or, you know, God willing, like quadruplets, you're like, yes,
You're in the
this is
middle.
the one.
Hollywood,
Well,
call
there
me.
was a in Gavin and Stacey, the popular BBC television show. The baby that was twins, like when they filmed the original series, and then this year they did a Christmas special, and the kid playing the son was the same baby. He was the baby from 10 years previous.
Has it been
That's
10
amazing.
years?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, he's probably older than that, actually. The kid in the show was
Yeah, he's
maybe
17.
11, 12, yeah. He was,
Yeah.
he was driving all the main characters round.
All right.
Right, I'm a cabbie now.
Hey, still
Mother,
a baby, really.
Where is my packed lunch?
Yeah.
I've got.
Mother, my Pampers.
Just before we do forget about the pet food, growing up, or I guess even now, when you were like feeding a pet, did you ever look at their food and go, "Oh Jesus, the camera's fallen down again"?
I've fallen again.
What are you
That was
balancing it
Now
on?
you're upside down.
That was my fault. I was pulling
You're
the
upside
wire.
down.
You're
I'm
upside,
upside
down.
down.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's carry on like this.
We'll just
okay?
have to go with it.
Okay, this is weird.
We don't have to do shit.
Okay, now you're portrait. Now you're the
Okay,
right way up.
Now I'm the right way up.
What I was trying to say before Chris Ray was
What
struck
I
by
was
an earthquake.
trying
What
to
I was
say.
trying to say, right, is
What I'm trying to say about this is...
did you ever look at pet food as a kid and go, "Oh, that looks pretty good"? We used to feed our gerbils this amazing multicolored collection of food. It was like little green pellets, little red pellets. You got sunflower seeds. You got bits of barley or something.
And you
I was
wanted
like,
that.
I did want it. It looked like a big. It was as colourful as a big bag of Lego, and I was kind of like, "Ooh, this looks like
Ooh.
this looks like the food they eat in Hook or something like that." Like
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I know. I'm like, I wonder what it's like, and I never did it, but I always kind of wanted to eat it.
I've never liked the look, taste. No, I haven't eaten it.
taste.
Shit! Back up! No. I've never liked the look or smell of cat food, but Ali really does like it, and she regularly is like, "Oh, I could eat that." And I'm like,
yeah,
"Do
because
it, you
I've
coward."
fed your respective cats a number of times, and the gelatin around all the cat food, I just think is grotesque.
Yeah, I mean there are some other brands. There's a brand where it's in like gravy, and there's a brand where it's kind of like just meat, and that's probably the one that's closest to what human food could look like.
Yeah.
And if I was going to eat any of these pouched monstrosities, I'd probably eat that one. But no, I have eaten a dog biscuit before on a dare, and it was kind of just like eating.
They're
Like
just
bark.
dry, horrible. Blah.
Yeah. But no,
That was
Speaking
That
of
was
the
a,
dog.
that was a dog barking.
yeah.
Is that because you just said dog biscuit?
Yeah, she must have heard us talking about dog biscuits.
That's amazing.
I remember seeing a program as a kid, and I definitely remember seeing the show. I just cannot remember whether it was. I have no context now for whether it was real or whether it was like a lie. But they were interviewing a guy whose job was to taste test dog food.
Oh yeah.
Because
I bet that's a real job.
Because apparently, like how do you test such a thing? Like, because you're kind of like, well, we've made this thing which is technically edible.
Yeah, I just googled it. It's a real job.
Okay, but oh god, that makes me sad. But it was something
surely there
like
must be dog tasters as well.
Apparently, they generally earn around $34,000 a year, and
Whoa.
sometimes can bring in as much as $100,000 a year.
what for eating as compensation. That's not a salary. They're just like, we're so sorry.
No, that's that's as well as their salary, which is
This
actually
just
very
sounds
bad.
like a slight variation on John's fridge proposition from earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go-
Limitless food, but a slight annoyance of your bowels will just be in pieces.
once a month, you're ushered into a room, and there's a tin with no label and an envelope full of cash, and they're
Yeah.
like,
Eat
We're
it.
so sorry.
Don't ask any questions.
take your time.
Eat it, and rate it out of 5, and then you get the money.
But I seem to remember them saying that, like, because it's like there's a grading scale for meat. It's like letters of the alphabet. So like A is like the freshest meat you can imagine,
Okay.
and then like when you get down to like E or F, it's kind of like that's like chicken from like a week ago, that
Okay.
sort of thing. And they're like beyond a grade. You're not technically. It's not fit for human consumption, but
It's
it's
not
still
food.
it's still technically edible. And I remember vividly this show said the food that goes into dog food is like grade G meat. Like it's still
Wow.
technically meat, but it's like, so it is technically edible.
It used to be meat.
Yeah, like
Adjacent
obviously a dog's
to
loving it, but legally they're like, this is not something a human should be enjoying. I remember the guy like eating it out of the tin, like, and it was that thing where it's like
And then he goes home and kisses his wife.
Yeah.
kisses his dog wife when he
His sexy dog wife, who is also the photo model for dog food.
Yeah. We've come full circle. How about that?
Hey!
There was a rhyme and reason to all that.
Conclusion.
Nick,
I've got hate.
yeah, take us away.
So you know how I feel about life hacks.
Oh god.
Oh,
Well, I found out about a couple of YouTube channels that apparently specialize in life hacks. Except for the fact that they're very strange. It's like they don't really exist in our world. They exist in this weird parallel world that they think we care about, and I mean, I don't, but they have millions of followers and millions of views on their videos, so I don't understand. There's one channel called Troom, and there's one channel called 123 Go, and they're almost identical to one another.
Okay.
And they will have titles like 10 crazy, like, girly life hacks, or 10 DIY tidy up your house hacks, or some of them will be challenges, and some of them will be pranks. And then when you watch a video, they'll all be basically the same premise, where it's kind of like you're watching a children's show. So they're in sets, right? They're not in real buildings, they're not in real rooms, not in real houses. They're in these primary coloured sets that look like Funhouse or Finders Keepers or something like that. And they're all wearing primary coloured t-shirts and trousers. They're dressed like someone from an Alphabeat music video. They don't look like real people, right? And they're talking, but they're muted, right? So it's like their mouths are just going blah, 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 blah. And there's a voiceover over the top saying, Frank is really fed up with having to do the dishes. And then it will cut to like a girl on a primary coloured bright red sofa, and she's
hate
like
this
pretending to
already.
play a game. And it's like, Katie doesn't want to help at all. And I'm sort of watching this, and I'm like,
Oh god.
who is this for? Because it's obviously kind of targeted at kids, but the actors who are playing all the roles in it are all like probably mid-30s. But they're acting like either children or teenagers, and they're trying to be cool, but like I don't. And then all the pranks and all of the life hacks are all like everyday things. Like one of them was when you go traveling with your best mate and you go on the plane and then you arrive at your hotel and you're sat in the wait. And they always do this story, right? So they're building up this weird story about how the life hack's going to get used. And then they're sat in the waiting room and it's got this voiceover and everything. And it's like, Katie's going to reach into her bag to get out her swimming costume because she can't wait to go swimming later today. Oh no, what's that? And her hand comes out the bag and it's covered in toothpaste, right?
Oh, no.
And she's like, oh no. And then her friend Annabelle tells her that the reason that happened is because of the altitude and the aeroplane. And I'm like,
Sure.
yeah, that happens all the time. And then Annabelle goes, "You should have done this," and she pulls a little jar out of her rucksack, and it's full of toothpaste nuggets.
What?
Yeah, and that just comes up on the screen as though that's a thing. Like, should have got these toothpaste nuggets.
What?
And then it goes into
Is that when you cover the toothpaste in a load of salt and then you put it in the cupboard for 4 days?
That's actually really close.
It comes out with toothpaste nuggets.
That's bizarrely close, right? So you get a piece of baking sheet, parchment, whatever. You get your toothpaste. This is in advance of going on holiday, right? And you do little squirts onto the baking sheet. So you have these little, almost like blobs. Yeah. And then, get this, you coat them in flour, right? And then you leave them out somewhere. It doesn't really say where, until they go a bit hard. And then you scrape them all off the baking parchment into a little jar, and then you screw the lid on the jar, and then you're good to go on holiday. And then it shows them using them, and they're in a hotel bathroom, and they pop one in their mouth like a sweet, and then they wait for it to melt on their tongue, and then they brush their teeth.
That sounds like a lot of effort for something you could just put into your cabin baggage.
Yeah. Or if you're desperate to put something in a jar, just put the toothpaste tube in a jar. Fuck off. It's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. But they always have to tell a weird scenario or story with this voiceover that's half children's TV show, half helping you out with domestic life hack. The kind of things that kids a kid's never going to pack their own bag and go on a plane and go on holiday with their friend. Who the fuck is this for? I don't understand. It's maddening.
I think. Oh God, I hate everything about this. Everything you are describing is just awful.
Yeah, it's monstrous.
I do think that. I think it is aimed at children. I think it's not. It's not meant to be something they'll understand. I think it's just meant to be oh, this is colourful.
I think you're right, because these things are incredibly successful. There's a lot of production value. There's a lot. They have a lot of sub channels. They've got huge amounts of views. So with the adverts in front of them, they're probably making shitloads of money. But it's it's just the worst content in the world. There was another hack, which was to do with a boy leaving the toilet seat up. We all know that that's a big no-no. And the hack, right, involved using the boy happened to be playing with a yo-yo, and then he suddenly had a light bulb moment. He was like, "Wait a minute, I could use this."
Wait, sorry. When you say boy, do you mean the 37-year-old man?
Yes, with a full beard. On a fishing boat, trawling in today's catch. He's just oh, you know what? I could use my yo-yo to solve this problem.
Face scarred by years at sea.
Years,
kind of
years at sea.
Salt and wind burned. Yeah.
A face of 1,000 stories. Who has lived many, many lives on top of one another just to get to here
keeps
today.
leaving the toilet seat up. Madam, Timmy has tattoos up to his neck.
Madam, Timmy has 10 live trout in the bath. I think that's more important than the toilet. Anyway, so Timmy, 38-year-old Timmy.
Timmy has a wife in every port.
Timmy is a close personal friend of Captain Birdseye himself. So if you could just back off Timmy's fucking case for 2 cocking seconds.
It's not his fault he was miscast. It's not his fault he was miscast.
Exactly. Anyway, so Timmy works out that if he sticks with sellotape the yo-yo string to a weird part of the cistern inside the toilet, and then also tapes the other end of the string to the toilet seat, when you flush the loo, something moves and shifts in the cistern, and it lowers the toilet seat back down again after you piss. So there's that.
See, my interpretation of life hacks in their purest form is it's supposed to make something banal simpler.
Yeah.
All these life hacks that I hear on this podcast seem like they're just creating additional problems.
Just making my life way harder. I'm going to spend hours making a simple counterweight system.
Or something that's got a very easy solution, incredibly difficult with multiple stages.
Yeah. Let alone the fact that I don't really want to be sellotaping a yo-yo string to the underside of my fucking toilet seat.
But that in itself sounds like a huge pain in the arse.
Yeah.
Are you expected to buy a second yo-yo? Or are you just meant to
But what if I don't have a yo-yo? That suggests I have a yo-yo lying around.
It does suggest
Which I don't, to the best of my knowledge.
So there you go. This is another thing I think with life hacks is that surely they're supposed to make use of things everyone has and make use of them in a new and helpful way. Yeah. But rarely does it seem to be that.
I do wonder, what was patient zero? for life hacks? Like, what was?
It was probably someone like unfurling a paperclip and using it to press a reset button on an electronic device or something like that, wasn't it?
Are you having difficulty opening your phone case? Why not use this paperclip?
There was that thing where I think it was described as like a life hack, but I'm not sure if it technically counts as a life hack. But like, you know, the thing where like if you have a fizzy drink, the tab has like a hole in it,
and you're meant to fold it over.
You're meant to put the straw in it or something.
But again, like this is the big thing that I think life hacks get wrong, is that sometimes they just explain the actual functionality of something that it was meant for. And it's like, you're not hacking anything. If those ring pulls were designed to be a straw holder, we just didn't know that. It's not that it's some sort of clever thing that someone's worked out. It's that was what they were for, and no one has been communicated that recently.
Yeah.
So it's like... You know, you haven't changed the use of something to be used in a different way. This is always how it was meant to be used, you idiot.
Yeah.
Mysterious shit.
The levels, I think Jesus, just like the cognitive journey you have to go on to go, I'm going to put out individually spaced portions of toothpaste. On a baking
process
tray,
that is,
and then cover them in cornstarch.
I mean, I can't think that that's going to affect the flavour, surely, as well.
Well,
like,
yeah,
I don't want to eat that.
I'm not saying I fly very often, but my toothpaste has never exploded like all over the place. Like, how many people are affected by this?
This is the thing. These aren't real issues. These aren't real things. So what's the point of these videos? What's the point of these hacks?
Well, it's all
content.
About them sweet views, Nick. I mean, I don't know what I find more offensive: the fact that is actually classed as a life hack, or that there are people making a living.
I think that's the thing. Is that
this stuff?
People are watching.
We may have spoken about this before, but I feel very sorry for the people who have to come up with these things.
We've talked about
Raoul. Oh, God. I've got to come up with 12 life hacks today. Jesus Christ.
No, don't. These are the modern day snake oil salesmen. Like, do not give them a moment's sympathy, because they have not given your precious time and money that it is just... This is utter bullshittery. Like, it is astonishing. Yeah, like, every individual life hack camp. You've got poor Raoul in his warehouse, desperately trying to come up with stuff.
It's always Raoul.
You've got 123Go Industries.
He gets around that guy, doesn't he?
He does. Well, he doesn't.
123Go were originally a Japanese heavy industrial production company, and they were making chemicals and pharmaceuticals. They were doing good work, and then one day, someone twisted the ring pull around on a Coke can and was like, "My God,
oh my God,
where's the CEO? Where's the CEO?" And they go,
CEO Jimmy, we need him.
And they turned it all around that day. But after week one, you're like, okay, guys, this is a bold new horizon. We've done the ring pull. That's classic. That's gospel. We've unfolded a paperclip to reset our phone. Solid gold. Sky's the limit. What's next?
What in terms of a life hack, or what's next on our show?
No, that's the thing. No, no. I mean, life hacks. I mean, this is it. Like, I think genuinely there may only be 2 actual life hacks in the entire world.
I think that might be true.
It's the paperclip and it's the ring pull.
Yeah, that's it. And eating popcorn out of a hoodie you're wearing backwards is you're a garbage person.
That's not a life hack. That's either performance art or a very specific fetish.
Yeah, or both.
I can only get my rocks off if I'm pretending to be a horse, eating out of a nose bag. For God's sake, you're an adult. Just get a bowl out of a cupboard, for crying out loud.
But yeah, if you want to laugh, go on 123Go or Troom's YouTube channels.
Troom.
Yeah.
Troom.
I want you in my room.
I feel this is now a cursed. This is a cursed audio file. Like, you say the word troom and it just, it feels indecent somehow.
It is. It's horrible.
It feels like a sex act in another language, which I just can't.
Anyway, this is basically my way of when I can't think of a hate, I resort to life hacks again.
Well, I'm so glad.
Don't let the secrets out of the bag.
Oh crap! Cut this bit, John.
I'm so glad that nearly 60 episodes, 60
Still
episodes in.
Scraping the bottle every episode.
Yeah, we're running out. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell you what, let's turn it on its head.
Yeah.
Let's end with a nice positive note. Rayman, you got to love.
Yes.
Cleanse the palate.
What do you love?
My love is, because I've been watching a lot of it, and because they've started their own podcast, not to rival this one, is Scrubs.
Yes, I've heard they've started a podcast.
I've been listening to the new podcast with Zach Braff and Donald Faison, where they rewatch an episode of Scrubs they do 2 a week now.
Are you watching along with them?
I've not been, because I'm so familiar with the episodes, and they don't necessarily commentate on it. They just drop some dotes.
Some sweet dotes.
But it's very good. It's called Fake Doctors, Real Friends.
Ah.
The show, and it's very funny, and they sing the theme tune themselves as well. And we've been speaking about it on and off, John and I, for a couple of weeks, that Scrubs is back.
Yeah,
it's back again.
Everyone's talking about Scrubs.
Yeah, well, I got the box set for my birthday. I asked for it, but at random in terms of the global situation surrounding Scrubs. So it's quite nice that I'm on the ground level for once.
Yeah, you were ahead of the curve.
Things.
Is this weird? Is that strikes me as really odd, because I remember that when I was at uni, I was really into Scrubs. So we're talking 2004, 2007. I was like, this is the funniest show on TV. I was like,
I think there was a time when it was hilarious. Every episode was just a complete slam dunk, basically.
I remember in the final year of uni, I think, Rev, you and I, we went in halves on... We weren't at the same university, but we went in halves on Scrubs season 3.
Maybe we did.
And I think we did we did a part exchange on it, where I had it for a bit, you had it for a bit.
Nice.
And I remember watching that a lot in my final year of uni and thinking, like, TV is over. Like, it will never get better than this.
Series 3, 4, and 5, I think, are brilliant. Still,
I think, but
the quality did by the end. But in its prime, I think it's one of the best comedies made by certainly by America.
Well, this is the weird thing. Like, I would be fascinated to know what it's like watching it now. Because
I am
gonna just rewatch it. I'm listening to the pod on its own, but I am gonna rewatch it.
Nick, were you a scrubber back in the day?
I was, yeah, and I think a lot like you, I really did think it was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And also, like you said, Chris, I think I was watching it like religiously, like episode by episode on telly. And then I stopped because I think those later seasons just sort of dropped off for me, and I didn't really care anymore so much. And I think, unfortunately, that's probably left this taste in my mind that it's kind of like, maybe it was good then, but is it actually good now? So I'd be interested to watch it again to see if I still, because I'm a big fan of some American comedies like 30 Rock and US Office, Parks and Recreation, and I honestly think those are some of the funniest shows. Well, they are. Between those three, somewhere in those three is the funniest comedy I've ever seen, and whichever one I watched most recently is the funniest. So I'd love to know where it compared with those, because I honestly it's been so long, I don't know.
I am fascinated to think about how well it's aged. Like, I really am, because I thought it was so good, and then I'm like looking...
I mean, the thing is, I'm not overly familiar with the American healthcare system, so in terms of it aging, it's probably not too bad.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we don't have that point.
What I mean is, like, for me, it was like... but it was very much like peak 2000s, where like...
It's probably dated a bit.
The best that TV could be at that point was kind of like the OC.
Oh, God.
You like anything on E4, like any channel like that. Like, it was like Scrubs wasn't like a classic sitcom, but it was a bit sitcom-y. And there's
some very dramatic moments in it. It is ostensibly a sitcom, but it does have a lot of drama in it.
But like, yeah, I mean, obviously it didn't have a laugh track or anything like that, but like it did,
which I think is good.
I just what I mean is I
don't enjoy laugh tracks
because obviously I thought it was really at the time I thought it was really, really funny, and like it would just be weird to think that revisiting any show from like the mid 2000s now just because like the world has moved on, like just because
and we've changed, like our sense of humor has like evolved.
Yeah, like I'm just fascinated by that. Like, what's the leading comedy of today? I don't actually know what that is because
I'm out of touch.
Yeah, I am out of
US
touch
Office.
because I mean, even
The
like
US Office.
yeah, I guess even like Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, they finished like a few years ago now.
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated by like how
What's
comedy,
the right now? Well, actually, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's another really good one.
which I've never really seen.
No, I've never seen that.
Honestly, like, I mean, anything basically that has Michael Schur's name against it, which is basically the three that I listed earlier, and also Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well.
Interesting.
Anything he touches turns to comedy gold. He is one of the funniest people I've ever known.
Because you look at like, I mean, like in the 90s, I guess like the late 90s, it was like the model for like a TV comedy or an American TV comedy was like Friends,
Yeah.
Frasier, and then you jump ahead like 10 years and it's kind of like things like Scrubs, which is maybe like not a sitcom, it's a bit more cinematic.
Edgier.
Yeah, but then I think like Ricky Gervais came along and invented the documentary style one, which was like a completely new branch of how to do it. And of course, then the US Office and Parks and Rec both built on that. And so that for me feels like the post 2010 era of comedy, kind of like this like that was the peak of comedy then. And maybe we have yet to find out what the next one is.
Yeah.
It's probably whatever your favorite YouTube series is right now.
Yeah,
like that's
Troom Troom.
probably
It's probably Troom Troom, I guess.
probably Troom Troom.
It must be
Love
Troom
a bit of Troom Troom.
That's supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I laugh at it.
Yeah.
I
So there you go. Relatively short and sweet. Scrubs. Watch it.
I remember a time in like 2007 where Zach Braff was like the hottest commodity
He was
on
like
the planet.
I honestly thought he was going to be huge for the rest of time. It's weird how he sort of dropped away.
I remember in again, God, 2007. You're bringing me back. I remember watching Garden State.
Yeah.
Yep.
And going like, oh, this is good. He's got.
But he wrote and directed that as well, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah. Again, I don't feel that Garden State will age very well at all.
I think that might be quite unbearable to watch now.
I think in hindsight that may be the most pretentious thing ever made.
Yeah,
and I did actually go to the cinema. I remember this. I went to the cinema to watch his second movie.
What was that?
I can't even remember. It was, but honestly, like I went with what at the time my final year flatmate, who was a bit of a weird one. Like he really, really liked Zach Braff. He was like, Zach Braff is an artiste. Like Zach Braff is taking art to a new level.
Yes.
And he was studying law and he did cocaine. And he
Who's Zach Braff or your friend?
My friend, yeah. Well, flatmate. Didn't say friend, flatmate.
Okay.
But
sorry.
we went to see this movie, which was like the second Zach Braff movie, and it was all about a guy who cheats on his girlfriend or his wife, and it was awful. Like it was honestly, like I remember my soul kind of dying like halfway through that experience. So I was like,
wow.
this is bad. Like this is really, really bad. And oddly enough, I think about that movie quite a bit, even though I can't
You can't remember the name of it.
Can't remember the name of it. I just remember it was probably just one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Now I want to see it.
Oh God, what was it called? If only one of us had access
True.
to a computer.
Well, what's your love? Oh no, it's you, John.
It's me. Yeah. Okay. My love, and again, this is a very specific one, and it's probably a bit of a recommendation as well. But I've been playing Lucy and I. We've been playing it together. We've been playing a video game called The Outer Wilds. Not to be confused with The Outer Worlds, which is very unfortunately two games came out in the same year with almost the exact same name. But it's kind of like there have been times in my life where a bit of media has come along, and before I've played it, I've maybe like heard a little bit about it, and I've gone, "Oh, I know I'm gonna like that." Like it was just enough to go, "Oh, that is right up my street." It was the same when I got into David Bowie. When I got like every CD from the David Bowie discography, and I was like, I'd heard about his Berlin trilogy, and I was like, I have no framework for this, but I know I'm gonna love it. Like
I already like it.
And I did. It was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the Outer Wilds came along, and I heard about it. I was like, oh, I bet this is gonna be good. Like this, I'm gonna love this. And it did come along, and Lucy and I have played through it together, and it is amazing. Like I absolutely loved it. And I know you don't like games, Chris Ray. I know you don't like games, and I know you don't like music.
No.
Or reading.
No, I do not.
Any kind of media, really.
But I would, I would recommend this to pretty much everyone. It is a insanely clever little game where basically you are playing as an unnamed member of this alien species. The game starts. You wake up and you're looking up at the sky, and above you, you see a big green planet up in the night sky above you, and you see something orbiting it, which kind of explodes in a flash of light, and something shoots off out of your vision.
Oh.
So that's how the game begins. You wake up, and that's the first thing you see. And then you stand up, and there's a dude kind of chilling next to a campfire next to you. And then basically everyone goes like, oh, are you ready for your first kind of trip into space? And basically your little people, you're all kind of like bluish. You've got kind of pointy ears. You've all got 4 eyes. And
adorable.
You live in this charming little wooden town. All the houses are just made of like planks and stuff like that. And basically you've built a spaceship. Apparently your people have been going to space quite a bit. And going to space is the same as like getting in your car in our world and just kind of going for a drive. And you climb into your spaceship, you blast off the planet, and there's a solar system for you to explore. Like you just kind of... Oh. So if you see a thing in the sky, if you go like, oh, look at that big green planet, I'm going to go there, you can. And the game gives you no prompts or anything. Like all you're meant to do is go and explore. And it's just like, it's so cool. Like, and it's like a micro solar system. Like everything is kind of shrunk down to a manageable level. So a planet is maybe only 14 kilometers away. So you can just fly across to it, land on it. All the physics works. It's incredible. And then the sun explodes and you die.
Oh.
And then you wake back up again,
oh.
like Groundhog Day, where the game began. And you go, and you look up and you see the exact same thing happen again in the sky. And then it happens again. So basically, you're trapped in a 22-minute time loop. And the sun keeps exploding. You keep dying. You keep waking up back in your bed. And you've just got to work out what the hell is going on.
That's so cool.
And try and uncover like this mystery. And oh my god, like it's incredible. Like it's so good. And the music is amazing. Just the feeling of exploration. So yeah, so again, a really super boring in a way kind of love, because it's so simple, but just it's incredible.
I'll have to take your word for that.
Give it a try, Chris Ray. It's
what platform is this on?
It is on PC.
Oh, personal computer.
And on...
I think it's on all consoles as well.
All devices, all readily available devices.
Yeah, popular devices.
You know, the
your
big
local video game
Is it on
store.
Nintendo Game Boy?
No, it's not. Because... No.
Is it on the Sega Genesis?
No. John's not sure. Maybe it is on the Genesis.
Maybe I haven't checked.
It's not on the Genesis. It's a 3D game. So
yeah, I haven't checked. The Sega Genesis back catalogue for a while. But
that's a shame.
You know, if you've got an emulator and you plug it right into the mains, it might just work.
That's because that's how software works.
But no, basically that's my
the thing with Tumnus.
This is my unsponsored kind of. Yeah, just plug for the Outer Wilds. For crying out loud, go and play it. It is really, really good.
Good God, pick it up, you coward.
Yeah.
I do intend to play it. It sounds fucking amazing. I want a slice of that planetary action.
Oh, and...
he's got more.
Oh, and apparently the...
Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it.
Oh, yeah. And that Zach Braff movie is called The Last Kiss.
Well, that sounds like garbage.
I'm just looking at his Wikipedia actually, and
I didn't even know. I've never even heard of that film in my whole life.
It's awful. I cannot stress enough how bad it is. It's really, really pretentious.
Well, I'll take us home with my love if you like.
Please.
It's a very short one, but I was reminded today of a boss I once had at my job before, my current one, and he was a great chap. And I had a conversation today, and we were just reminiscing about him. And he was a really old man. And he would just walk into the design studio that we were working in, and he'd just have something. It would just be some object or some artifact that he thought was incredible in some way. And he would quite often just present it to us, sort of in silence, and just point at it and just go, yeah? Like, what about this? And like one day it was one of those rain sticks. You know, there's like cylinders that you turn upside down.
Yeah, like
and the seeds sprinkle through.
With the...
Yeah, exactly. And he like came into the room, and we were like diligently working away, and he just turned this thing. It's like, and he was like, "What that, guys? It's incredible, isn't it?" And we're like, "Yeah, it's a rain stick, isn't it, mate?" Yeah.
And to clarify, your job was not working for some kind of House of Whimsy or...
No, we weren't working for Mr. McGoracle's phantasmagoricalized, Wonder Bazaar. No. And even if we were, the items he was bringing out were incredibly mundane items we were all incredibly familiar with. Like,
I like the idea that he was at home and he just thought, the guys at work are going to love this.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely love this.
And it's like when he presented the rain stick, we were like, yeah, it's a rain stick. And he was like, this would be nice to chill us out in the studio. And I was like, I suppose for like 12 seconds, I suppose it will. Yeah, until the seeds reach the bottom and then
forget about all our problems for those.
Someone has to get up and turn it over, I guess.
Well, yeah. Again, what was he? What was he imagining that he would just stand there indefinitely, just kind of constantly rotating?
Well, no, because then he would leave the room. Like he was there. He was there with us for very short periods of time. In fact, this would often be the only times we'd see him. He would come into the room, present some inanimate object, and leave almost in the same breath, leaving us with these things. And the room started to fill up with objects. Little whimsical little trinkets here and there. One time he didn't have an object one time, and he came in and was like spinning jennies. He literally just walked into the room and just went spinning jennies, and we just turned around and we're like, what? He was like, spinning jennies. That'd be good, wouldn't it? If we brought those back. And I'm like, he's like, all the kids playing with phones and playing on their apps and things. It's like, what if we got spinning jennies back? And I still don't know what it is. What's a spinning jenny? You're gonna have to say more. And then he'd be gone. That was it. He was gone. So,
yeah. Did you eventually work out what a spinning jenny was?
No. Do you know what it is? I might Google it.
I think I do. Isn't a spinning jenny? No, I'm thinking of a lazy Susan. I don't know. I don't know what a spinning jenny is.
I've just looked it up. It's a loom. What?
Oh.
What? That's not a toy.
My assumption was that it was just going to be one of those things out of Inception.
Yeah, like a spinning top. Yeah. I think maybe he got confused because, like, you don't want a loom. Why would you want a loom?
Well, I was thinking of a lazy Susan, which is like isn't that like that's like
a serving plate?
Yeah, it's like a spinning serving plate. But both are shit. If you're like, kids these days wouldn't be out doing smack and TikTok if they were at home playing with a spinning jenny or a lazy Susan.
Either or will do.
Or a spinning Susan or a lazy Jenny, for that matter.
Oh, you don't want a lazy Jenny. That's like...
I've got drugs for my lazy Jenny. But yeah, there was another time I remember that we had a meeting with a client. Bear in mind we did design, right? So we would do adverts, editorials, that sort of thing. And this company was like a shower company. And he would sometimes come along to the meetings, which was the worst thing to happen. And but he was the boss, so what could you do? And this shower company, he decided that he was going to commission, and he didn't tell us he was doing this. He was going to commission a design for a new shower that they should build and manufacture. Bear in mind, again, we were only there to talk about newspaper ads that we have been producing for them for many years, and we're going to hopefully continue to keep producing. And he showed up with a 3-dimensional drawing and blueprints for a new kind of shower that would have jets in the walls that would squirt water at like your face and your torso and your crotch and your knees. And he was like, "You should make this." And he spent like 10 minutes in the meeting the professional business meeting telling this shower company that they should make this new kind of shower that he had commissioned an artist to create drawings.
Oh god.
And the funny thing is that obviously they just like bemusedly took the diagrams off him and just went, thanks, that's great.
And that idea made them £500 million.
No, it's unsurprisingly they never made the shower, but like years later we would go to subsequent meetings with them and he wouldn't be going to these meetings. And he would say as we're going through the door, "Oh, are you going to show them the design for the shower again?" And we'd just be like, "Yeah, no, we'll take it down. Yeah, it's cool."
You can't knock his enthusiasm.
No. He was from another time, bless him, where, I think they did a lot of cocaine and then they just walked into meeting rooms, Mad Men style, with their cocks hanging out or something, and we're just like, "Hey, do this." And everyone was just like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, let's.
Not to shit on his dreams or anything, but I mean, showers with additional jets, that's not
many jets.
That's not revolutionary.
No,
really.
but John, these are oppressive jets.
Yeah.
They
Imagine
will
jets...
hurt you and rip your skin off.
Imagine jets pointing at all the places you don't want them to. And if you
Yeah.
try and turn around to get away, there's another jet there.
Imagine a situation where you're cleaning yourself, but you're also struggling to breathe. Gentlemen, I give you a fish tank.
Do you want to drown while standing up, but not fully immersed in water? Well, that's your chance.
Our new motion-sensitive aqua jets mean wherever your head is pointing, there will always be water going up your nose.
This shower has face recognition technology. So wherever you hide, it will look for your face, it will find your face, and it will squirt your face. Squirt your face industries. By now.
What is the love in the heart of this?
I was about to ask that.
Him. Just him.
Oh, him,
like,
just him.
He
Him and
brought
his
me.
ways.
He brought me so much happiness. Like he would come into a room, yell "spinning jennies," walk out of a room, and I'd be happy for the rest of the day. Like that was it. I was fine. I was sorted.
Spinning Jenny.
Spinning Jenny. That's literally it. Like we'd only know he was in the room because someone had yelled "spinning jennies" at the top of their voice. Like "spinning jennies." Remember those? Ha ha! Kids should be playing with those these days. And as I'm turning around in my seat, he is gone. And I mean, okay, I guess they should be.
I can imagine him walking off every time going, "Anyway, back to work."
Back to work. Great work.
Back to work, everyone.
Good job, everyone. Great stuff you're doing here. Spinning jennies. Off we go. Oh, he's a special man, but I loved him.
It's rare that I'm speechless on a podcast, but I'm just like, God bless him, salt of the earth.
Yeah, king among men. Anyway.
Well, I mean, where'd you go from there? I guess on the basis on the back of Spinning Jenny,
and Lazy Susan.
Gentlemen and a Lazy Susan.
My two favourite cartoon characters.
Where are we here? What's happened? What do we think is won? Love or hate?
Well, there's still a fucking fridge on my driveway, so I'm going to say hate.
Yeah, I had to watch loads of Troom Troom and 1, 2, 3 Go to research the best life hacks, so I'm not in a good place either. No, I did. No, I did for content. I had to do it. I had to.
Agreed.
Well, my opinions are irrelevant, but yeah, probably hate as well because goddamn, those sexy cats just make me feel all the wrong things. Well, okay, hate wins out. I'm glad. I'm glad the
at last.
I'm glad the optimism of our current situation could be quashed so readily.
Absolutely.
In which case, do we have? Well, I mean, this has been a delight. I've got to say, I know this is an audio medium, but genuinely, it has been quite nice to see you both.
Yes, thank you. I'd imagine it has. Yes, we're wonderful people.
No,
hey, I've got a sign-off line.
What?
Oh, go on.
That's the thing with Tumnus.